This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution. I am here with none other than the legendary Roberto Echeverría. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for the legendary.
Legendary. Huh? I hope I pronounced your surname correctly.
Yes,
there.
you did. Yeah,
Okay.
If I say it straight Chilean, it's Roberto Echeverría.
Okay, that's good. That's
Very
fantastic.
good.
So your wines have been in the Ontario market for coming up on 25 years now, right?
Yes, yes.
So tell us a little bit about the history of your family winery and how you ended up in Ontario.
Well, we've been doing wine for more than 100 years. I'm the fourth generation in the winemaking.
Right.
Probably the second generation in the markets, promoting our wines with restaurants and to the final customer. And with Lifford, probably it's one of our first agencies. It dates to 1997. And my dad met Stephen Campbell. They joined the same philosophy. And since then, obviously, we've been promoting our wines in the market, the whole Ontario market. And nowadays, I proudly can say that we might be one of the best distributed on-premise brands, not only because of our label, but maybe in many places as wine by the glass, because people appreciate what's value, but also they appreciate what's inside the glass, which is a very nice wine that brings in the experience from Chile.
So if you were to describe the philosophy of your family's house, what would that be?
Well, for us, it's family, first of all. With family, we can have consistency, we can have long-term relationships. And second, I think sustainability. The care not only for the wine you do and the care of the environment where you are, but also the people that work with you, the community where you are. And that's why we're part of a board of school in Molina, our town. We helped renovate the train station that was destroyed after the earthquake in 2010.
Oh yes, yeah.
And then people know that, and then you feel that you're part of the community, and whatever you do is not only good for you, but good for everybody.
Since you became part of the family business there, what kind of evolution have you seen in the wines of your family's winery?
Well, I think diversity. First, probably my dad started with or if I go back, before there were many varieties planted, my dad focused on the main varieties that would have been well known in the world, like Cab, Merlot, and Sauvignon Blanc. But in the last years, probably our innovation in different varietals and different blends is what people want to see and feel. That Chile not only is the traditional varieties, but it's more than that. And different terroirs, different regions, different collaborations, and try to do every time something new that in a way keeps us tuned to what wine is, which is an enjoyable experience, but also giving customers around the world something new to appreciate from Chile.
Now we're here at I4C on the very last closing event of I4C at Ravine Vineyards. What does cool climate Chardonnay mean to you? And maybe give me a little bit of an explanation about the climate that you deal with down in Chile, because not everybody understands that we're talking about a pretty cool climate.
Yeah, well, it's a great thing, since I know it 2 years ago from Thomas Batchelder and Stephen Campbell, meaning that when we started our project, RST, we realized that Chile, and when you see the maps, is a cool climate country by definition. And all that because of the little air conditioning system that we have with the Atacama Desert, the Antarctica in the south, the cold stream of the Pacific Ocean, and the Andes Mountain. So that keeps Chile obviously to be a cool climate country as known. Of course, there are microclimates that are warm, to do great bold red wines and Cabernet, but there's so many new areas that are very cool, not only cool like something cool, but cool as a cool climate, because we have that breeze comes from the Pacific Ocean and the transversal valleys that gets all that breeze going in, and then with the Andes Mountain with the snow going down and Antarctica. Yeah. So any angle you have the cool breezes coming in. That's why we have Central Valley 35 degrees high, and at night it's maybe 9. So we have those 20, 25, even 30 degrees difference day night. That makes the grapes really grow aromas, color, and be so fruitful.
Have you and your fellow Chilean winemakers had to deal with the impact of climate change?
I think what has happened is that the possibility of having climate change has made Chilean winemakers look for things norther, more in the south, more to the coast, or even to the Piedmont of the Andes, where it is cooler. But what happens because of the air conditioning system is that every year when we think it's gonna something go too early, because it's been very hot, we realize that at the end nature balances it back, and we end up having very steady and I would say more traditional dates of harvest, dates of end of harvest. We don't have rain, because it rains and water comes back again. So nature has been keeping Chile very stable despite the global changes in weather. So now we have more rain sometimes, maybe now it's July, we don't have so much snow, but eventually it will snow again soon and we'll be back to normal. But that has given, of course, the ability to Chile to keep on looking. So now this project that we're doing is very coastal, very near the ocean, in a new region that probably 5 years, 10 years was not well known, maybe still it's not well known, but that's what happens. New areas, new regions, coastal, cool, give something new to discover.
And you mentioned in passing that project that you're doing with Stephen Campbell and Thomas Batchelder.
Yeah.
Do you mind telling us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's called RST, basically because it put together Roberto, myself, Stephen, the S, and Thomas, the T. And basically, the funny thing when we said what name we're going to put on this, we realized when we wrote our initials, it was the ABCD, the abecedario. So it was aligned in the right position. It was Robert that brought the grapes, Thomas that bring in all the Burgundy characteristics for making this wine, and Stephen, and as he always says, I have to be in the middle, he says, because I need to put you guys together. He did put us together, but besides, as we're the winemakers, he has to kind of be sure that we are close together to do this.
And what is the basis for the varietals that you're working with?
Well, having Thomas' brain in all this and his great expertise, and he's like a god and somebody to learn so much from him. He's a Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, great winemaker, and he said, and Stephen said, you have to do something in the Southern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
And Pinot Noir probably is growing in Chile, Chardonnay is maybe left a little bit behind, and that's a great thing that Cool Climate or I4C has done for us. That has put back Chardonnay to the scope of winemaking, and Thomas' then knowledge of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay is what we first started. But Chile had diversity. Thomas just got kind of excited last year with Sauvignon Blanc. He said, "Oh, okay,
why don't we do Sauvignon?
We got to do Sauvignon Blanc too. We have the grapes there. Why are we just going to get stuck to this too?" Which is probably what he does. But Roberto, you tell me more about Sauvignon Blanc and let's learn about that. So we're doing Sauvignon Blanc as well. The three of them are already listed in the CQ and the east part of Canada. Initially started to be there, but now we're spreading it to be well known all across Canada and also internationally in other markets.
Fantastic. And just a quick question, where are your biggest markets for your wines?
For our wines, our biggest market has been the very traditional ones. For us, the UK is one of the biggest. China, because of a growing market, is one of our top 4. And the US also because it's been one of our oldest markets in there. And Canada stands between 3 and 4, so those are our main ones. And in Asia, of course, Thailand, we are very well known in the Thai market. Also, hotels, wine by the glass.
Yes, yeah.
And also about this venture, RST, which is super important. We're going also back to basics, doing some natural wines that are hitting some of the markets as naturally as possible they could be.
Interesting. Well, Roberto, thank you very much for joining us at I4C this year.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here as always.
Hopefully I'll see you down in Chile at some point.
Oh, we're waiting. We'll be there.
Super. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.